Hey y'all, Anime K-Man. Today I'm going to be reading the 10th episode of Goblin Slayer, and I gotta say, this episode was a disappointment, and let me explain why now. Normally, I'm not the kind of individual to complain about dialogue-centered only episodes. Normally, dialogue in anime, if it's well done, I'll give it praise. Hell, some of my favorite animes are non-action based or non-comedy based. They're just focused mostly on their drama, and I enjoy them for anime, TV shows, or movies. But the dialogue in this episode was just unengaging as fuck, and let me explain why now. This episode set itself up for disaster slightly when it introduced like this first scene with like the hero about to face the Demon Lord. It was getting you pumped, animation was looking good and smooth, and I was like, oh shit, are we gonna get some kind of fucking beatdown? And then when it just did that off screen, then later on it's mentioned that the Demon Lord was fucking slayed. I was like, really? You hype something up only for it to happen off screen, and then you have something cool only to then show off something mundane. It just makes the episode feel much, much more boring. And let me explain why now. This episode did have snippets of good. Any scene involving Farm Girl and Goblin Slayer interacting with Farm Girl was pretty fucking good. Especially the scenes where Farm Girl's like asking Goblin Slayer what he's want to do with the future, or when she's thinking about maybe individuals retiring, and how Goblin Slayer someday is gonna he's gonna peak, but he's not gonna be able to slay goblins someday, and he's gonna probably have to find something to do afterwards that doesn't involve slaying goblins. Like, those sequences were good, especially the scene where Goblin Slayer is resting on the lap of Farm Girl. It's showing off characterization for these two characters, how much they carry each other, and it's showing off the fruits of Goblin Slayer pretty much watching over Farm Girl's farm paying off, because you actually see at the end all these goblin footsteps. Like, all these sequences were good. I enjoyed these. Now, where this episode falls apart for me is when it focuses on anything that doesn't have to do with Farm Girl and Goblin Slayer. Now, for example, there's these sequences where this uber armored dude is training some of the individuals that we saw in this episode, where this chick and dude try to get his sword back from like these rat creatures and all that, where they wasted a whole episode. And I was like, oh man, not these dudes again. And then when it had those sequences, it just felt like a waste of time, because it was just these individuals training, and this anime hasn't really made me actually give a shit about these characters, because normally, and here's how you're supposed to do training sequences. You're supposed to do training sequences when you actually care about the characters. Let me give you an example. While this is an anime itself, something like the Rocky film series, the reason why their training montages are so good is because they care about the Rocky and Balboa character. You see his struggles. You see a man from like the bottom down who wants to prove himself that he's way more than just a guy off the street, that you can become great, how the average Joe can aspire to something greater, and that's why you care about the training montages. And then give me another example. Gear series has a good amount of training montages, but they work because you actually care about the characters, you care about the campiness and all that kind of jazz, and that's what makes it work. Here you have these random characters. You have these random characters training, and you don't at least I don't give a shit, because it's like, eh. So those scenes are wasted for me. And then you have a scene where Goblin Slayer is going to like get his armor prepared, and it's like the anime could have easily skipped this, because during those sequences we really don't learn more about the Goblin Slayer at all. It's just him walking, getting armor prepared. The armored dude, I don't even know most of these motherfuckers' names, because they don't even have fucking names. They just have titles. I'll just say this dude that looks like the armored dude that hangs out with the fucking Bigwood witch. He fucking doesn't even recognize Goblin Slayer without his armor, and he's like, oh, you're new? oh man, you're stoic. And then you have the witch pretty much wink at the Goblin Slayer when he doesn't have his armor on because she recognizes him without armor. I mean, we have those sequences, but they don't really give extra characterization to anyone. They're just there to be cutesy. And then you have a sequence where Goblin Slayer eats with the dwarf, elf, priestess, and this could have been a scene for the bonding and all that kind of stuff. Maybe talk about goals and stuff, and instead it's just... It leads to like this scene where dwarf and elf are in a drinking contest, but the anime half-asses that because it doesn't even show them drink, because a lot of the screen time was wasted on the hero about to face a demon lord and it not showing it off. And it's like, what the hell? The only good snippet was when the receptionist was telling Goblin Slayer that if he is not careful and he gets knocked out, he's not going to be able to have a mission for 6 months. That there was a good dialogue sequence right there. But most of the sequences in this episode weren't really good dialogue. It just focused on unimportant characters and all that jazz. And aside from the farm girl and Goblin Slayer scenes, which were pretty good, some other good sequences, I gotta give them their props, were pretty much the sequences where Goblin Slayer is taking care of the farm, and then at the end where he finds out the goblins are gonna strike pretty soon from the looks of it. That was pretty good. It gives weight to some of the first few episodes of the series where he was checking the land of the farm girl so that there's no goblins possibly showing up. So that was nice. We're finally getting payoff to some of the things we saw in, like, I believe the second episode or third. That's a plus. And to the episode's credit, seeing more of the Goblin Slayer's past and how he never really tried out some of the stuff that his sister made after she died, it was pretty nice to see. It gives him more characterization. But really, though, the cons, and especially the con of not seeing the Goblin Slayer's face, because you may argue that, oh, well, maybe it's supposed to be a mystery. I'm like, I really don't buy that argument, because this works for video games when you're controlling the main MC in first-person shooters. But this doesn't work for an anime because you're not self-inserting. You don't control the actions of the Goblin Slayer. They're already controlled by the writing stuff of the series. And it's just like, for me, not seeing his face and just having it fucking teased and not really seeing it, it just kind of lowers the impact for me in the episode. Because it's gonna give him less dimensions than he could have if you don't see his face. And that's why I'm gonna rate this episode an overall of 4 out of 10. It was just nothing but fucking dick teasing, dick teasing, dick teasing, dick teasing with some good sprinkled in. If it didn't have the farm girl elements in there, this would have been like a 3 or 2 out of 10. But at least the good makes it slightly below average. And that's why I didn't like this episode. And hopefully next week looks better. I mean, I hope. So anyways, guys and gals, my thoughts your thoughts below in the comment section. Rate the video, subscribe if you want to see more of my reviews and reactions, and I'll see you guys later. Subscribe for more. Bye bye.